The Haunted House in the Black Forest. Part 1. The First Visit. On a cold November day, a group of friends decided to embark on an adventure into a remote forest known as the Black Forest, which was rumored to be home to strange stories, but no one had dared to investigate their truth. It was said that deep within the forest stood an old house, abandoned for decades, haunted by malevolent spirits. The group consisted of 5 friends: Imad, Sarah, Hala, Fad, and Ahmed. They decided to venture into the forest to find this mysterious house, fueled by their shared love of adventure, horror films, and stories about haunted places. The journey through the forest was difficult, with dense trees blocking their view, and thick fog wrapping around them, heightening their unease. After hours of walking, they finally arrived at what seemed to be the ruins of a once grand house, now decayed and weathered by time. The house looked completely destroyed from the outside, its windows shattered and its doors boarded up with broken wooden planks. But something strange happened when they got closer. They heard a faint sound coming from inside, as though someone was moving within. "Did you hear that?" Sarah asked, trembling. "I think there's someone inside." "Don't worry, it's probably just the wind blowing through the cracks," Imad said, trying to calm everyone down. But the concern was evident on his face. Despite their apprehension, the group decided to enter the house. The curiosity seemed to push them forward. Ahmed struggled to open the rusty door, and with a creak, they stepped inside. As they did, they immediately felt like they'd entered another world. The air was thick with the smell of decay, and the walls were covered in mold. As they explored, they came across a locked room. After some effort, they managed to open the door and discovered a small room filled with old books and faded photographs. The photographs depicted strange-looking people, one of whom was wearing an odd, old-fashioned outfit with a disfigured face. But what alarmed them even more was the presence of an old notebook on a table. Upon opening it, they found pages filled with an erratic handwriting. The words were repeated over and over. "You will not leave alive. Do not open the doors. Do not touch anything. Mercy does not come here." Part 2. Strange Phenomena. As time passed, the friends began to sense that something was off. The lights in the house would flicker suddenly, and they heard faint footsteps behind them. When they looked into the mirrors, they saw shadows moving behind them, even when they were alone in a room. Then, in a sudden moment, the lights went out entirely, plunging them into complete darkness. They heard a chilling scream coming from upstairs. Imad tried to investigate, but he couldn't make it to the top of the stairs because something heavy seemed to press on his chest. "We need to get out of here now," Sarah screamed, her face filled with panic. But, as if something was watching them, they found that the doors were now locked, and the house itself seemed to be shrinking around them. They tried to open the windows, but the glass was shattered and had become part of the walls themselves. Part 3. The Catastrophe. In the midst of their panic, the friends decided they had to escape by any means necessary, but the path to the outside was blocked. It felt as though they were trapped in a dark, cursed place, surrounded by angry spirits. As they searched for an exit, they discovered a hidden passage that led to a pitch-black basement. The closer they got, the more they felt a heavy presence in the air, as if the basement held something that was alive and breathing. "We have to leave now," Fad urged, trying to pull the others away from the passage. But Ahmed felt a strange pull and decided to enter the basement, despite everyone's warnings. Inside, Ahmed found something horrifying, an old chest
covered in blood. When he opened it, he was met with the face of a deformed child staring back at him with wide, empty eyes. The child was crying, though no sound came from its mouth. When Ahmed approached, the child extended its hand and pointed upward. Then, the unthinkable happened. The house began to shake violently, as if time and space were collapsing inwards. The walls cracked and crumbled, and the shadows grew thicker. The sound of the spirits filled the air, growing louder and more impressive. In that instant, the friends began running in every direction, but no matter which way they went, they kept returning to the same spot. Part 4. The tragic end. In the final moments, as they tried to escape, they felt a crushing weight on their chests. When they turned around, they saw that the house they thought they'd escaped from had vanished, and they were surrounded by shadows. It felt as if they'd walked into a trap they could never escape, and that they would never leave this place alive. One by one, the friends